more than 235 years ago, on a cold December evening, more than 5,000 angry colonists crowded into the waterfront streets of Boston to protest a selective and unfair tax on colonial tea merchants. The tyranny of an oppressive monarch would never again be tolerated. 3 weeks ago in Washington, a tyrannical congressional majority voted to levy a 90% tax on the income of a few select Americans. Income that they had voted to approve only a few days earlier. That 90% tax looks so good to those Washington and Sacramento tyrants that they already have their sights set on the income of a few more. You have this Constitution. And you have a vote. We can all make Samuel Adams proud, just as Samuel Adams and his pals threw that tea into Boston Harbor in 1773. All of us can vote to throw the tyrants out of Washington and Sacramento in 2010.
But this is obviously a worthy cause, and one I'm very glad to be part of, because we're really talking about the fate of this nation and the fate of our state. And we're really asking the question, which is, it's unbelievable to me that this is even a legitimate question, but it obviously is in this day and age. Are we going to live, and are our children going to live, in the same country that so many patriots died and suffered to give us? Are we still going to be living in that country in the days, the weeks, the months, and the years to come? And that to me is an amazing thing that we even have to ask that question. But that is indeed a legitimate question because of the circumstances we face, both nationally and here in the state of California. We have a president of the United States who clearly ideologically is a socialist. We have a Congress. It's true. Whether the media will tell you or not, it's true. Ideologically, he clearly is a socialist. And we have a Congress of the United States that is actually maybe even further left than he is on some of these issues. So a socialist president, a socialist Congress, and an American public that, according to a poll that came out this week, only 53% of whom say that they believe capitalism is better than socialism. But you know, as bad as it is on the national level, to me, it's actually worse on the state level. And here's why. Because there was no mystery about what we were getting, especially in 2008, with regard to this election. If you didn't realize this is what we were going to get, if you did not defeat Barack Obama and a Democratic Congress, then you get what you deserve. They were pretty clear about what it is that they believed in. But on the state level, in the form of Benedict Arnold Schwarzenegger, we were sold a bill of goods. We were lied to. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is a traitor. And traitors should be treated as such. And if we do not treat traitors as such, we get what we deserve. Arnold Schwarzenegger lied to us in that now long-distant miracle that was the recall election. A lot of people here probably bought into it. I was one who did. But it was very quickly obvious that this was a mirage. This was a lie. And just because he has an R next to his name does not mean that he should be supported regardless of the level of his betrayal. In fact, the R next to his name makes the betrayal even worse, and that means the punishment should even be worse than what it currently is. So we need to punish those who betray the cause and support those who stand up for it. If there's one thing that I would want to get across, that would be that. Our side does a really lousy job of that. We must punish those who betray us, and we must stand by those who are real in principle. And I got to tell you, by the way, as a former radio talk show host, I can assure you, those standing up for principle are not radio talk show hosts. All right? Be very wary of radio talk show hosts. We cannot and should not have people leading our movement that are basically no better than two-bit whores, and that is what most radio talk show hosts are all about. Now, before I completely lose the crowd by speaking the truth, let me just finish by thanking you for being here, and please, never stop fighting for the truth, and never stop fighting for the United States of America. Thank you very much.
I prepared a few lines, and I've never written anything before. This is the first time. I've always just talked impromptu. I've never used a teleprompter, sorry. I really do believe that if you speak from your heart, you don't need a teleprompter, because what you're speaking is the truth. The framers of our Constitution were very explicit in their words about limited government. They knew we needed enough government not to have a tyranny, but limited enough for every individual to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Here in this country, we believe in freedom more than any other country on earth. Even if what you hear in the media, you know what? You need to be proud to be an American. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else but this great country. Tell me, where in history did gross over-regulating and taxation ever grow an economy, create jobs, encourage entrepreneurship? As these politicians espouse for us to tighten our belt, be more fiscally responsibility, they passed the largest spending bill in the United States history, and they didn't even read the frickin' things. And when the watchdog group asked them, where is the money gone? What have you done with it? They won't tell. Our servants have become our masters. When we're asked to tighten our belts, I want to ask Sacramento and Washington, what have they done to tighten their belts? What have they done to stop government regulation? What have they done to limit government? I know our politicians have great pressures from unions, but they need to tell the unions to cut the contracts, roll back benefits to 2003. We've all lost a job, know somebody that's lost a job, or our businesses have suffered, and we've had to cut back employees. And I know how hard it is, but I'm sorry, the union has to cooperate. When they push our politicians need not to buckle, and they need to push back.
Now, it is true that I am from the government, and I am here to help you. Ronald Reagan said that those were the 9 most terrifying words in the English language, and I think that's still true today. Absolutely, it's true. Let me ask by show of hands, how many of you have not yet filed your taxes? All right, now look around, everybody. These are potential cabinet nominees for the new president. You want to keep yourself eligible now. Don't mess it up. And I think that this sign says it all, right? Okay? Let me make it easy for you. On May 19th, vote no on everything. What's going on with Prop 1A through 1F is if you vote yes on Prop 1A, you are not getting a spending cap. What you're getting is a very weak, loophole-ridden budget mechanism. All it does is kind of level out spending year to year. The fact is it was written to encourage tax hikes, because if you hike taxes, you can spend more money under Proposition 1A. If, on the other hand, we get smart and we reduce taxes to encourage hard work and savings and prudent risk-taking, if you reduce taxes according to Prop 1A, you got to reduce spending. So it's actually a built-in mechanism to prevent doing the right thing. We need to vote no on 1A through 1F. I'm happy and at the same time a little sad to say that I'm one of 3 Republicans that voted against what became 1A. I was the only one in the Assembly that spoke against the tax increase. And that's sad. It really is. that it's come to that in Sacramento. Folks that run Sacramento have already said that we're $8 billion short, and we'll be $14 billion if 1A fails. Ladies and gentlemen, they're going to try to raise your taxes again anyway. And the next time they're going to do it using an illegal, unconstitutional, majority vote only bill that will call taxes fees. California has the highest income tax rate in the nation. It's just been made higher. We have the highest gas tax in the nation. It's just been made higher. We have the highest sales tax in the nation, and a few days ago on April 1st, April Fool's Day, the joke on you, the taxpayer, it was made higher, not by 1 penny, ladies and gentlemen, by 14%. Because that's how much more taxes they're trying to collect by raising the sales tax from a base rate of 7.25 to 8.25. That is a 14% increase in your sales taxes. And of course, your car taxes have almost doubled. Prior to this unwise and ill-considered, gigantic, as you heard Pia say, the largest tax increase on the state level in American history, prior to that, we were about the 6th or 7th highest tax state in the nation, because our property taxes are only at the national average, thanks to Prop 13. After this tax increase, we are number 1 or 2 in the nation. I'm not quite sure, because a few other states are being foolish enough to be considering to raise their taxes right now as well.